Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and there's been a recent small patch that came in. It's actually really cool. It's an updated version of the elephant skin. So before we had a generic one that covered both Asian and African elephants. Of course, these are two different species of elephants that have different physiology, so they have different appearances. And here, actually, it's going to be fleshed out, so we're going to be seeing different models for them. They also said they fleshed out Epirus a bit. So Hellenic Royal Guard, I noticed, has a slightly different skin. Royal Peltas have been added, as well as having the Illyrian levies here, who are axe-wielding troops. And then another addition that you'll see further down here is going to be in the shock cavalry. They get the Salian cavalry, who are very good. Well, maybe not as good as the Aspis, but they're definitely very good cavalry. And yeah, for 740, they're pretty good shock cavalry. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you what it all looks like on the battlefield. We're also going to be deploying some elephants in this. You can see mercenary Indian elephants are available to Epirus, but I'm going to be mostly comparing the two right here, where you can see the African elephants, and then you can see the Indian armored elephants. So when you look between the two, usually when you think of an African elephant, you think of savanna elephants. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. First, I was going to highlight some of the unit details here. Of course, we're on slow motion, so you can appreciate it. These guys are looking very cool. I'm hoping that in the near future, CA goes in and patches to add some of the axe kill animations and stuff like that, as well as clubs. You can see this, the Salian cavalry, very similar to Macedonian troops. And here you can see the elephants fleshed out, of course, the African elephants with their larger ears. And yeah, they're looking very cool. Now, this has led some people to speculate that because we're seeing elephants added in, especially African elephants, maybe CA is gearing towards a Punic Wars DLC coming up, maybe something like that. We don't know, because of course Hannibal fielded African elephants, and he also had access to Asian elephants. Anyways, right here you can see the Indian ones redone with smaller ears. What I was trying to point out, however, is when you compare the two sizes of elephants, typically, I was saying earlier, you think of Africans being larger, the savanna elephants, and the Indian elephants being smaller. Actually, sort of when you look at warfare, there's been a dispute about this. People say that the African elephants used as war elephants were actually smaller. The reason they say this is because the African bush or forest elephants were used. However, I actually recently saw an article on Reddit that sort of disputes this. I can link it below if you guys want to check it out. It basically says that at the Battle of Raphia, which is the only known instance of African elephants fighting against Indian elephants, it was said that the Ptolemies were actually using elephants, African elephants that were savanna elephants. So if that's the case, then they were definitely much larger than the African bush elephants. So that's something I just wanted to point out and share with you guys. I'll link that below, as well as the patch notes, so you can check those both out. Anyways, it's a welcome appearance to see these elephants updated, and it kind of alludes to what we may be seeing in the future. Also, keep in mind that this patch was actually really big. I think it was like 167 megabytes or something, very large, much larger than you'd think was necessary just for these elephants. So it probably includes more stuff, perhaps DLC. And this is something that I saw on the forums. People had seen that there is something called BOW coming out soon as a DLC, maybe free or paid. People are speculating that maybe it means Beasts of War, or maybe it's some sort of bow and arrow. We don't quite know yet, but stay tuned for that in the near future. Anyways, here are some animations of the elephants fighting each other. I never really look to see what happens, and it's kind of cool. They have one-on-one face-offs where they kind of smack each other, but nothing too exciting. A little more awkward than if they were trampling troops, but here you can see the comparison of the two types of elephants, more in the flesh without too much armor covering them. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much.